It was 50 years ago this week that Watson and Crick unraveled the secret of life. We're talking about the DNA double helix. Well, today that discovery is helping cure diseases, solve crimes, and actually locate your family roots. Well, using DNA, ABC 7 News reporter Sam Ford went searching for his ancestors in Africa, and he joins us now with his findings. And Sam, we are all very jealous.
Well, if you are a
Some maps still call this section of Africa the Slave Coast, and as I sat beneath the slave memorial at Badagry, Nigeria, I wondered whether some ancestor had passed through Badagry's point of no return.
Genes have a particular history. They're passed on generation after generation.
3 years earlier at Howard University's Human Genome Center, I gave blood for a DNA test. Geneticist Rick Kittles, who analyzed it, found an identical match in his African database.
Well, on your father's side, your paternal lineages originate in Nigeria, the Ibadan area.
He found that link through the Y chromosome that's passed from father to son. I got mine from my dad, Sammy, he from his dad, John, John from Harry Ford, born a slave in Kentucky in 1831, and on back to Africa, where in Ibadan, Nigeria today are males, distant cousins of mine, who have the same male gene that I have.
Ibadan is a very interesting city.
I went to Ibadan knowing that I would not find any DNA cousins because people in the DNA database are anonymous. But I did find a people and a culture, the Yoruba, one of Nigeria's largest ethnic groups. Ibadan, with its miles and miles of brown tin roofs, is their principal city. And at the University of Ibadan, I met historian Gabriel Oguntamasin, who said my ancestor could have been among those enslaved during a 40-year-long civil war here that began in the late 1700s, where European slave traders on the coast sold weapons to both sides.
They sold them in order to possess arms and ammunition to continue their war.
At the Slave Museum in Badagry, they still have some of the original chains.
Their grandparents told them, and I'm going to tell my child. My child is still going to tell his own child. So it will never be forgotten.
And also, why is this so important? Well, it's important because if you're a European American or Asian American, your last name gives you a clue to where you're from. But if you're an African American, all you know is that you came from somewhere on the vast continent of Africa. Thanks to DNA, now we know more. Also today, Rick Kittles, a geneticist, launched a company to perform these DNA tests for the public. You can access his information through our website at WJLA.com. One caveat: DNA ancestry tests may not take you back to Africa. For example, Kittles says that about 30% of African American males will trace back to Europe because of relations between masters and female slaves. Well, fascinating to know the answers. Thanks a lot, Sam. By the way, tomorrow on ABC 7 News at 5, Sam continues his investigation. We're going to take a look at Sam's ancestors, the Yoruba, and their spiritual home in the town of Ife. Kathleen?